cat Pumpkin, and today she is going to choose my art supplies for me. Okay, so first off we have stuff to do the line art. Now I have chosen multi-liners, colored pencils, or my mechanical pencil that I usually use to sketch. So whatever she touches first shall be what she picks. Pick one. Pumpkin, are you going to choose? Okay, so I'm just gonna like move them. Look, look. Try and get her interested in them. Ready? Now, go. She just doesn't really care. Oh, she picked the colored pencils. Good girl. There we go. Now, to color in this line art, we have a cat who's looks like she's about to go to sleep. My markers, pencils again, and watercolor. Pumpkin. Now choose what I'm going to color in with. Now pick. Just whichever one you want. No, don't come to me. You're so sweet. You know what? Maybe I should put them in between her and me. I'll just call her over. Pumpkin! Beep beep. She touched the markers. Did she actually? Yeah. She touched the markers. You picked pencils and markers. That seems pretty easy. Mixed media card, which has, wow, one piece of paper left. Wow. And then I also have toned grey paper, toned tan paper, and a piece of blending card. Okay, so I have these placed here, and Pumpkin, where are you going? Oi! Oi, come here! Come here!
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
You're gonna pick these art supplies for me, please. I love you too. Mummy would appreciate it. Pumpkin. So I guess you picked the mixed media. Have a wild card item. So I have picked something interesting that might add some flair to these art supplies, and that is some metallic ink, my Copic airbrush system, and oil pastels, because why not? It might be interesting. Ow. Okay, so the order in which she ate those treats means that this is first. So I guess I'm going to be using oil pastels. Thank you, Pumpkin. That's very nice of you to help me. You cheeky little... These are the art supplies which Pumpkin nicely chose for me. We have some mixed media card here by Strathmore. We have my Prismacolor pencils to do the line art. We have markers here to color in the piece, and oil pastels just to add little embellishments, or, you know, just to add a little bit of extra fun in there. So let's get to it. So what I first did was I started off with a little sketch in my sketchbook. Now obviously with the theme of this video I wanted to draw a cat, however I had a cute idea for it. So I basically titled this artwork A Cat Named Pumpkin, except it's not my cat, it's just a random cat that I made up, and like I had a little story for it. So basically the story is this cat here that I'm drawing is a stray cat who lives on a pumpkin patch, and basically he catches mice and stuff and he keeps pests at bay, and the owners of said pumpkin patch ended up adopting him and named him Pumpkin. So yeah, that's pretty much the story about it. It was just a kind of cute little thing that I thought up randomly, and yeah. So I started off with just a sketch, as I said in my sketchbook, and what I basically did was I scanned that sketch and printed it out larger on a piece of A4 paper. And then I just, traced it onto my mixed media card here. And yeah, I used my colored pencils mainly because that's what Pumpkin chose for me to do. And I used a few different colors. I didn't just do the same color for the line art. I actually used a few oranges and browns for the pumpkins, a few different greens for the leaves, and a dark sort of indigo blue color for the cat. As Pumpkin chose, I used my Copic markers to color in most of the artwork. And I just started off mainly on the background with the blue sky, and I used a bit of frost blue for that. And then I went into the ground and I used a mixture of, I believe, burnt umber, sand, and a few little oranges here and there just to make a nice rich earth color for the ground. After that, I went into the pumpkins themselves, and I actually used a mixture of honey, I believe chrome orange, and then later a bit of sand and dark suntan for the shadows on the pumpkins. I tried to give them nice little highlights with a sort of more of a yellowy orange, mainly because I wanted, just a bit of interesting look to the pumpkins. I didn't want to just colour them in flat orange. And yeah, so I just tried to, go around with the shape of the pumpkins and just give them a nice look. After that, I went into the leaves and I used a mixture of lettuce green, grass green, new leaf, and I believe a little bit of malachite or malachite. I still don't know how to pronounce that word. But yeah, I just sort of used a little bit of a streaky look for the leaves to sort of give them a shiny kind of look and make them a little bit more glossier than the pumpkins, because I wanted a bit of texture on there and I wanted to make them look interesting. Now obviously this is a drawing of a cat on the pumpkin patch, and he has fallen asleep on top of the pumpkins. Now, as I said for this story earlier, basically this is Pumpkin who lives on a pumpkin patch, and you can often see him just lazying about, sleeping on top of pumpkins sometimes, or catching mice, that kind of thing. It's a bit of a cute story, I think. So now is the time to colour in the cat himself, and I mainly used cool greys and a tiny bit of warm grey for the white parts of the cat, and then I actually used a bit of Prussian blue and brown for the cat's spots, and of course a bit of Bailey beige for his nose and inside his ears. And now it's time to use the oil pastels which Pumpkin chose for me, and to be honest, it's not my first choice for what I would have used to add texture or accents to this drawing. However, it turned out alright. The mixed media card was actually a very good fit because it had that little bit of texture which gripped onto the oil pastels very well, and I was able to add a little bit more texture to the artwork and give it a little bit more interest. I actually used a dark brown for the ground, which gave it more of a speckly detailed look and made it a bit more interesting and less soft. And then I also went in with this sky and added in some clouds with some white, some grey, and a small amount of yellow for a little bit of highlight colour in the clouds. And I also went in with the leaves and added a small amount of texture and just a little bit deeper shadows to the leaves. And for the pumpkin, I actually used a mixture of browns, a yellow and white to add some highlights and shadows to the pumpkins and give them a little bit more texture. After that, I actually added a little bit of white oil pastel to Pumpkin, and just to give it a little bit more, like Pumpkin the cat by the way, not the actual pumpkin, just to give it a little bit more of a highlight because I kind of shaded it a little bit too much and lost the highlights that I planned on getting on the cat. So the oil pastels actually helped me get that back. So here is the final results, and I'm actually quite happy with this. I have to say I really like the way I did it with the border. I added a little bit of masking tape to sort of mask off the background, however the leaves and stuff like came out of the border, and I really like that look for artworks, and I probably will keep doing that. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed that cute little part at the start where I was interacting with my cat Pumpkin. And yeah, make sure you hit like and subscribe and support the channel by watching another video in the cards, and I will see you in my next video. Bye everyone!